श्री सच्चिदानंद सद्गुरु साईनाथ महाराज की जय. Sri Sai Satcharitra, an insight, episode 122. My humble prostrations at the lotus feet of our Sadguru Sai. By the divine grace of Sai, an attempt has been made to translate the gist of the divine discourse of Sri Ramanathan Brother telecasted in Sai TV. This is purely done to share the glory of Sai and his divine teachings with more insight to the aspirants. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahmam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Devotees, we shall listen to the divine sport of Sri Sai Maharaj that expounds the high esteem given to Bade Baba in his darbar, apart from providing a huge amount as dakshana every day. Let me share the interesting Leela that illustrates the hidden motive of Sri Sai Maharaj and reflects the attitude of Bade Baba. On 15/2/1915, a devotee by named Sadhu Bhaiya, alias Sadashiv Dondiraj, was residing in a place known as Harda. One evening, he was strolling with his friends on the road, and lo, suddenly he had a vision in which Sri Sai Maharaj walked towards him at a rapid speed, and as Sri Sai came close by his right hand, it clinged to the right hand of Sadhu Bhaiya. This vision was so realistic that made all of them feel as though it really happened, though it was only a vision. As a matter of fact, after the vision, to the astonishment of all, Sadhu Bhaiya had a twig in his right hand, which was not there before the vision. This twig was like the one used by Sri Sai Maharaj to brush his teeth. Isn't this amazing? All his friends also experienced this vision, but before they could realize what was happening, Sri Sai Maharaj disappeared and the twig in Sadhu Bhaiya's hand became the proof of this vision. One among his friends was an atheist. He was inquiring thus, "What happened? I saw someone coming towards us at a great speed, and as he approached us, his hand came close to yours as though trying to give something to you. Everything was so mystical, and now I don't see anyone, but all that I find is a twig in your hand." Sadhu Bhaiya said, "The mystical figure that approached us was Shirdi Sai Baba. He came close to me to give his toothbrush, that is, the twig which you can see in my hand now. Though the events seem to be a vision, it is real because prior to this vision there was nothing in my hand, and now there is a twig given by Sri Sainath, which is indeed a blessing from Sri Sai Maharaj." This friend was still not convinced, so he told Sadhu Bhaiya to write a letter to Shirdi and get it confirmed if it was Sri Sainath who appeared here and gave the brush. As he insisted, immediately they all sat down to write a letter to Shirdi, and all the letters addressed to Sri Sai Maharaj was read by Shama. Similarly, this letter was also read. Baba, after listening to this query, told Shama to instruct Sadhu Bhaiya to come in person to Shirdi. Upon receiving the reply, Sadhu Bhaiya and his friends came to Shirdi. As soon as they reached Dwarakamai, Sadhu Bhaiya narrated all the scenes of the vision and asked if that was Sri Sainath who appeared at Harda. Baba replied in affirmative and directed him thus: "Now you go and narrate this vision to Bade Baba." Sadhu Bhaiya went to Bade Baba, and while this vision was narrated by the former, devotees like Dr. Pillai and few others were also present there. Listening to this narration, Bade Baba was in tears of joy and developed a sense of longingness to enjoy a similar boon. Devotees, Sadhu Bhaiya got the Sakshatkaram of Sri Sai Baba, which is the greatest blessing that any devotee would wish for, and this is bestowed only when the merciful Lord is very much pleased with that devotee. Bade Baba was in uncontrollable tears. He was contemplating thus: Sai Maharaj has given me all the privileges. He gives me a huge sum of money every day, and everyone is treating me with respect. But I have not got the highest grace of Sri Sai Baba, that is, experiencing his Sakshatkaram. His mind was in great anguish, and with tears rolling down his cheeks, he started from Satewada and walked towards Dwarakamai. He accosted Sri Sainath and said, "Sri Sai, you are giving me a handful of money and other comforts of life which is temporal. But to Sadhu Bhaiya, you have given the highest blessing of having your Sakshatkaram." Devotees, oh, what can we say? Words fail to expound the marvelous play of Sri Sai Maharaj. He enacted this miracle very skillfully to Sadhu Bhaiya to shower this incredible blessing. Later, pulled him to Shirdi to clarify his doubts. Now, made him to narrate the same to Bade Baba, which eventually kindled a yearning in the mind of Bade Baba for a similar blessing. Now, devotees, listen to the response of Sri Sai Maharaj to Bade Baba. He said, "What can I say, Lord? Everyone receives what they desire for." Listeners, this is one of the important assertions of Sri Sai Baba and has been recorded by Pujya Sri Narasimha Swamiji in his Sai literature. Sri Sai Baba has declared that a person gets what he earns, which means if we approach Sri Sai for material benefits, we will be provided those benefits. If an earnest devotee went to Sri Sai Maharaj seeking self-realization, then that was granted to him. This clearly implies that Sri Sai grants what we ask. This is the greatest moral that Sri Sai is teaching to us through this Leela. Getting back to the original thread, so Bade Baba, when directed by Sri Sai Maharaj to kill the goat, he refused to do so as he thought the poor creature need not be killed without a reason. He never had the insight that Guru's words or commandments of the Lord and had to be obeyed word to word. The Guru is under no obligation to justify his decision to the disciple, and the disciple should never expect any clarification from the Guru. Instead, obey the orders as and when it is decreed. Sri Sai Maharaj played this divine sport to demonstrate the Guru Bhakti of his devotees. Now Sri Sai called out for Sri Shama and said, "Ho Shamya, now go and fetch a knife. We will kill the goat." Sri Shama immediately followed the order of Sri Sai. He went to Sri Radhakrishna Mai and got a knife from mother, placed it in front of Sri Sai. Sri Shama was not convinced to get the knife, but he knew that Sri Sai expects him to bring it. So he abided by the instructions of Sri Sai Maharaj, but partially, as he only brought the knife but did not kill the goat. By then, Sri Radhakrishna Mai came to know the reason for which this knife was fetched by Sri Shama, and Mai, the most compassionate one, couldn't tolerate this action, so quickly came there to recall the knife. Sri Sainath was quietly witnessing all these scenes as everything happens as ordained by him. Sri Shama made use of this opportunity. As such, he was not willing to kill the goat. Moreover, by then he hasn't developed the attitude of complete surrender to the Guru's orders. So, in the guise of getting another knife, he went out of Dwarakamai and quietly went and sat down in Satewada with the intention that if he would not go back to the masjid, the killing of the goat need not be done at his hand. Now, Sri Sai Maharaj turned towards Sri Gaga Sahib Dikshit and directed thus: Gaga, now you go get the knife and kill this goat with one stroke. Give relief to its pain and pave way for it to get liberated from this body, says Hemat Panji in his narration in Sri Sai Satcharitra. But devotees, there are few more interesting dialogues that were delivered by Sri Sai Maharaj to Dikshit Ji as expounded in the Sai literature Shiradi Che Sai Baba by Dr. Gavankar. According to that, Sri Sai Baba spoke thus: Gaga, I have a desire to eat sagoti, that is a dish prepared from meat. I am feeling very hungry. Can you go and fetch a knife, kill this goat with one stroke, prepare biryani from this goat's meat, and serve me immediately? The mere thought of this delicious food is mouth-watering. Thus, Sri Sainath began his divine play with Dikshit Ji. Devotees, listen to this nectar-like stories of Sri Sai carefully. Gaga Sahib Dikshit is an orthodox Brahmin. Non-violence was a way of life for him. A person who has never been cruel to any creature, to such a person, Sri Sai Maharaj is instructing to kill the goat at one stroke and prepare mutton biryani out of that meat. Dikshit Ji obeyed the words of Sri Sai Maharaj and fetched a knife to kill the goat. Devotees, before I continue with this Leela, it is inevitable to share an incident that would show the kind nature of Dikshit Ji, as it is not a mere exaggeration. Once in Dikshitwada, while Sri Gaga Sahib Dikshit Ji was sleeping on his bed, there were many bed bugs on it. This was the case with everyone's bed in the Vada. So they all decided to use the insect repellent to kill the bugs. But Dikshit Ji pleaded everyone to not spray on his bed and said, God has provided my blood as food for these bugs. Maximum they might suck half an ounce of my blood. Let them drink it, poor creatures. Such a tender-hearted person was Sri Gaga Sahib Dikshit Ji. He could not even let the tiny bed bugs being killed for his welfare. That same person is now ready with a knife to kill the goat, as Sri Sai Maharaj has ordained him to do so. All the villagers were shocked to see this scene. They started murmuring thus: Bade Baba is a Sahib who eats meat but has refused to kill the goat. Why is this Dikshit, being an orthodox Brahmin who adheres to the principle of non-injury to living beings, is getting ready to kill that poor creature? Dikshit Ji could have gently refused to Sri Sai's instructions or adopted one or the other means to escape from this situation. But he didn't do that. Instead, he was preparing to kill the goat by tucking up his dhoti in one hand and holding the knife in the other hand. Sri Sainath sat quietly observing all the happenings. Now Dikshitji lifted both his hands over his shoulder, holding the knife tightly. He just politely got a final confirmation from Sri Sai Maharaj. Baba, do you want me to go ahead and kill this goat? Sri Sai Maharaj gave his consent. Yes, proceed. So Dikshitji was bringing his hand down close to the goat and was just a moment away from striking it. Now, devotees, listen to the pranks played by our Supreme God Sri Sai Maharaj. He yelled out, "Ho Kaka, stop! What a brutal person you are. Being a Brahmin yourself, you're prepared to kill this animal? How can you do this?" Dikshitji immediately realized that this was the test given by Sri Sainath to him. Instantaneously, Dikshitji threw the knife away and thus the goat's life was saved. Dikshitji politely spoke these words to Sri Sainath. His reply is a testimony to the greatest spiritual ladder he was in, and this also exhibits his Guru Bhakti. Hemat Panji uses beautiful connotations to describe the characteristics of Dikshitji. Firstly, he says, Dikshitji is undoubtedly a pure gold. Sri Sai Maharaj knew the worthiness of his devotee, but he wanted to test him in public to make his greatness known to the world. None would believe if there were no proof. Hence, Sri Sai Maharaj is exhibiting the same in the guise of these divine sports. Then he tells for the diamond to achieve its lustre, it must bear the hammering. Likewise, a stone must be chiseled while carving a sculpture of a deity, then it reaches the splendor of divinity. Even if it's a diamond, its purity has to be tested. Hence, the assayer does a process in which the diamond is tied to a thread and thrown into the fire, and this is known as Vaira Pariksha in Hindi. One more analogy is added to this. Gaga was as precious as the talisman around the neck. How would the unwise believe that until it is tested and proved? So, for the sake of revealing the greatness of Dikshitji's Guru Bhakti, Sri Sai Maharaj has demonstrated this incredible Leela. Devotees, please give your complete focus and listen to the response given by Dikshitji to Sri Sainath. He said, Maharaj, your words are like nectar, and following that is the law to us. We know nothing beyond that. We don't know if adhering to your words would bring any penalties or honor, whether that would give joy or sorrow to our life. We don't mind the outcome of our actions. That is immaterial to us. I will obey your orders, be it good or bad, about killing or non-killing. If I like or dislike, I am not bothered about it. I don't want to even think of the reason behind your order. Let the action I must perform be significant or irrelevant. I am not concerned about it. After speaking in length, now Dikshitji uses a very beautiful phrase. He says, Sri Sainath, your words are Veda or Shastra to me. That is my Agamam. Agamam here means identity. Obeying to the orders of my Guru day and night should be my character, says Dikshitji. Further, he adds, Sri Sainath, let your name be in our lips always. May we see only your divine form in everything and nothing else. Let my mind ever get engrossed in your thoughts. I must obey your command day and night and should surrender at your holy feet ever. I would even sacrifice my life for the sake of fulfilling your orders. Devotees, the above Leela and the words of Dikshitji reveals that he is an exceptional devotee. When great devotees like Radha Krishna Mai, Shama and Bade Baba were reluctant to carry out the orders of Sri Sainath, it was Dikshitji who promptly abided by the command of Sri Sainath. This is the greatest virtues of all. This is the best dakshana that any devotee could submit to his Guru. Dikshit Ji revealed his Guru Bhakti to his Guru. Sri Sai Maharaj, the most merciful, showered his abundant grace upon Dikshit Ji by granting him Ananyasa Maranam. He was bestowed Sadgati. He was promised by Sri Sai that he would be taken in Pushpaka Viman. In this context, by the term Pushpaka Viman, Sri Sai meant that the passing away of Dikshit Ji will be very easy and effortless. It so happened that Hemat Panji and Dikshit Ji were travelling by train, and the latter was speaking the glories of Sri Sai Maharaj. While conversing, he closed his eyes naturally and rested his head on the shoulders of Hemat Panji. It is believed that if the soul leaves the body when the person is in sitting posture, that is the best departure compared to the lying or standing position. This was granted to Gaga Sahib Dikshit Ji. The scriptures say whatever a person desires or thinks at the time of leaving his body, he would become that in their next birth. If we think of God at the time of passing away, then undoubtedly the soul will get liberated. Dikshit Ji was having Sri Sainath's name on his lips. He was merrily singing the glory of his beloved God and Guru. His passing away was so natural that Hemat Panji thought Dikshit Ji was sleeping, as no noise was heard by Hemat Panji from Dikshit Ji, though his head was resting on Hemat Panji's shoulders. This is one of the rarest blessings that a devotee could get. We just saw that Dikshit Ji left his last breath while travelling in the train. This reminds me of Sri Kripananda Variyar, a great Saivit spiritual teacher. Whenever he talked about his passing away, he said he would be carried by the vehicle of Lord Muruga, that is, the peacock. True to his words, while he was returning by flight after finishing his lectures from London, he passed away, and it is said that when his body breathed its last, the flight was flying above one of the holy shrines of Lord Kartikeya. In the case of Dikshit Ji, as affirmed by Sri Sai that he will be taken in a Pushpaka Vimana, so he was granted an easy death while travelling in train, which is the greatest blessing showered by the Guru. After narrating the astounding Leela, which is the core of this chapter that expounds the essence of Guru Bhakti and the philosophies based on it, Hemat Panji is continuing to give a detailed account of the different levels of the disciples. He categorizes them as the best, middle, and the base disciples, and we can ponder more on these topics in the coming episode. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all. Om Sai Ram.